Hon- Honorable members, may we take this opportunity for a silent prayer or meditation. Amen.
Amen.
Good morning, honorable members. I am not sure, IT, whether the video is working on your own side, because I can't see it on my side. I don't see it. Oh, thank you so much. I have gotten the signal. Good morning, honorable members, honorable Deputy Speaker, honorable Premier. We will now go to announcements. The first announcement is regarding the reason for the sitting of today. Thank you for availing yourself for today's special sitting. The Office of the Speaker was advised to call a special sitting to comply with NCOP processes and to enable the legislature to participate in the mandate required at the NCOP. Today's special sitting is being held to deal with the debate and voting on the conferral of a final mandate on the Upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill, B13B 2021. I trust that honorable members will find this to be in order. Honorable members are reminded that this is a special sitting with honorable members having connected virtually. As always, the sitting will be conducted in terms of our standing rules. Rule 2884 of the rules states that the presiding officer or chairperson must, before or at the start of the discussion on the matter, expressly inform members if a party vote will be taken. In line with the above, I can confirm that voting will take place on the conferral of a final mandate on the Upstream Petroleum Resources Bill, B13B 2021. And it will be a party voting. Bear in mind then, honorable members, that a party vote is a collective vote on behalf of all the members of a party present at a virtual sitting, up to the total membership of that party in the sitting. I will, however, allow an opportunity for any individual member to vote differently from his or her party, or to abstain if any member wishes to do so. With that said, we will now proceed with the rest of the items on the order paper. We'll go to apologies. The first apology we have is the one for the Honorable Miss Ndube Ncube, the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, who has a competing engagement that has been scheduled on the same day as our sitting. And the next one is the Honorable Mr. S.E. Mangele, who has a church commitment. We also have the Honorable C.M. Shinga and Honorable M.E. Pagati, who are both unwell. And we request honorable members to please have them in your prayers. Honorable members, we are fast approaching Easter, a time when many adherents of the Christian faith, as well as holiday makers, will be traveling to all corners of the country, either to attend religious ceremonies or to spend time with their families or loved ones. We urge all travelers to adhere to the rules of the road and to take every possible precaution to ensure that they arrive at their intended destinations safe and sound. To those who believe in Christianity, we also wish you a great weekend of worship. Nitumise, nitumise. Let us all drive safely and arrive alive. Honorable members, vacating of offices for the end of the 6th term. Honorable members, the following announcement contains important information for all members of this House. The Office of the Chief Whip has requested me to instruct all party whips and/or party leaders to ensure that they duly inform any members who may not be present at today's sitting of their obligations regarding the following matters. 1, clearing out of offices. In preparation for the 7th term, members' offices at the legislature need to be cleaned and where necessary refurbished. Members should therefore vacate their offices anytime between the 9th of April and the 19th of April 2024 at the very latest. Members are to remove all personal belongings from their offices as well as items such as books, documents, calendars, or papers, since members may not necessarily be allocated the same offices if or when they return after the elections. 2 boxes per member will be supplied and left in each member's office by the 8th of April 2024. If additional boxes are required, members may contact Ms. Nonkululeko Nxumalo from the Members' Affairs Office. I am sure you all know the number and the email of Ms. Nxumalo because you all have party offices. Members are hereby advised that staff will start cleaning and refurbishing from offices from the 22nd of April 2024 onwards. Please note that the above request also pertains to members who occupy NCOP offices in Cape Town. I hope the parties that have members in Cape Town are taking note of that. Office keys should be returned anytime between the 9th of April and 19th of April 2024. Members must ensure that keys are handed in at the Members' Affairs Office next to the Members' Dining Hall. Remote controls for air conditioners and TV sets and in respect of members whose offices are fitted with TV sets must be returned along with office keys between the 9th of April and 19th of April 2024. The gadgets must also be returned to the Members' Affairs Office next to the Members' Dining Hall. Awusuki kumina bakithi usuka emthethweni we-administration lo myalezo ngiyacela ukuthi siwulalele bakithi ihlala yenza ningababuza omhlonishwa uSwartboy Ntombela nabomhlonishwa uGwala bahlala bekwenza. Members are to submit all outstanding travel claims arising from this term by the 30th of April 2024. Unused travel vouchers. Members are advised that all unused travel vouchers for the current financial year will expire on the 31st of March 2024. Members will, however, still be allocated 2 travel vouchers at the beginning of the new financial year, which will be redeemable for the months of April and May 2024. Returning and new members will be allocated the remaining 10 vouchers are redeemable within the first financial year of the 7th term. These vouchers will expire on the 31st of March 2025. Iyaqedelwa ngusomlomo we-7th term leni announcement. Official passports. Members who have official passports are requested to return them to the Office of the Secretary for safekeeping. Returning of official passports will commence on the 9th of April and end on the 28th of May 2024. Members may contact Mrs. Nokuthula Sikhakhane regarding arrangements for the return of official passports. I am sure you all know her contact details. Cell phones provided to office bearers. Members are required to discuss arrangements with the Supply Chain Management Unit regarding instruments and contracts. They may contact Mr. Matthew Mate on 081 011 1361 or via email at matem@kznleg.gov.za between the 14th of April and the 17th of May 2024. Any costs incurred on instruments from the date of the general election, which is the 29th of May, and after May 2024 shall be for members' own account. Members on access cards, honorable members, may choose to return their existing access cards, irrespective of whether they return for the 7th term or not. Each access card will be reprogrammed to reflect members' new status, either as a former member or as a new member. Parking bays will be allocated to incoming members as soon as the list of new members are finalized. ICT equipment. Honorable members have the option to keep or to return ICT tools of trade as per the legislature's policy on ICT tools of trade. Outstanding payments on laptops, tablets, iPads, and printers that have been supplied to members will be deducted from their May 2024 salaries, as per the contract signed by the members. Members who choose to return ICT tools of trade are hereby requested to transfer all their personal data to an external storage device before returning ICT equipment to the ICT unit. Members who require assistance with transferring data from their tools of trade to external storage devices are requested to bring such external storage devices to the ICT unit so that the ICT team can assist them with data transfers. Access to the legislature's network, emails, Microsoft Office applications such as Microsoft Word or Outlook, antivirus software, and access to APN mobile data will automatically terminate after working hours on the 28th of May 2024. Members who opted for the allowance that runs for 36 months from the date of payment are requested to pay back the advance portion of the allowance that is for the period after May 2024. Members can obtain their individual balances from the Finance Division. Members are requested to return all borrowed books to the library by the return date indicated or no later than the day prior to the election, but preferable before the 24th of May 2024. Failure to do so will result in the price of each unreturned book being deducted from members' salaries. Lost library books or any similar items obtained from the library must be reported as soon as possible so that payment can be processed. Honorable members, you will recall that at our last sitting, we announced that the Office of the Premier had extended an invitation to members to attend the commemoration of this year's Human Rights Day. The legislature subsequently received a follow-up communication from the Office of the Premier stating that the event had to be postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. A new date for this year's commemoration of Human Rights Day has been announced for Thursday, 28 March 2024. Activities will start at 10 o'clock at the Makasa Stadium at Hluhluwe in the Hlabisa Big Five local municipality. Umkhanyakude district. And honorable members, you are still invited. Now, honorable members, we will move on to the next item on the order paper, which is item 3, an opportunity for the Premier to make announcements. Understanding that the Premier has tabled an apology, we understand that there will be a representative for the Premier. LOGP or whosoever is representing the Premier from the members of the executive. Any announcements?
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. We want to indicate that we did not receive any announcement from the Honorable Premier. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Tishomkulu. We will now move to item number 4, formal motions or notices by the Chief Whip, which is item 4 on the order paper.
Honorable Speaker,
Yes, I hear someone.
It's Honorable Fraser. Honorable Speaker, my apologies. We have just received the announcement
No, Honorable
from
Fraser,
the Chief of Staff.
Honorable Fraser, if we give you the Office of the Premier, we might give them at the end because already the Honorable Nkose had said there are no announcements. We will call you and at a later stage. We are now giving the opportunity to the Honorable Chief Whip. I'm so
Thank
sorry,
you, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I must indicate that we don't have any motions or notices today. Thank you so much.
The face of the Chief Whip we could not see, and I request that it does not happen from the Chief Whip. Can we see the face that is speaking on behalf of the Chief Whip?
Yeah. I'm trying, Honorable Speaker. I don't know what is happening with my gadget.
The challenge is that, Honorable Chief Whip, when we do not apply a practice consistently, it gets undermined along the way.
Yeah.
Because we say members, when they are debating and they are speaking, they show face. If they have a connection challenge, they can ask someone to stand in for them.
No, I must apologize. I don't know what is happening with my gadget.
Honorable members, we will move on to item number 5. I am setting no precedents, but I am please as requesting the office of the Chief Whip to assist us to be consistent. We will now go to item number 5 on the order paper, which is a debate and voting on the conferral of a final mandate on the Upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill, B13B 2021. It is then I call upon the Honorable Chairperson of the Environment and Conservation Portfolio Committee, the Honorable Sithembiso Wiseman Mshengu, to table the report of the committee for 5 minutes. Chagwe.
Honorable Speaker, or members, good morning. I hope I am visible.
Yes, you are, sir. Yes, you are, sir.
Can I then be granted a permission to switch off the mic for the sake of a clear voice transmission on my gadget, Honorable Speaker?
Even though it is clear now, but you can be allowed, Swazi.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, in terms of Section 42, subsection 4 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, the National Council of Provinces represents provinces to ensure the provincial interests are considered in the national sphere of government by participating in the national legislative process. The Upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill, Bill 13B 2021, the bill as Section 76 bill affecting provinces in terms of the Constitution was accordingly submitted to the provinces for formulation of mandates. The bill was referred to the Conservation and Environmental Affairs Portfolio Committee of KwaZulu-Natal on the 30th of October 2023 as the appropriate committee for the conferral of negotiating mandate and to make recommendations to the House on a final mandate in accordance with the mandating process of the Provinces Act year 2008. Speaker, the bill seeks to provide the following. I'll just mention a few, Speaker, for the sake of time. The orderly development of petroleum resources, equitable access to and sustainable development of the nation's petroleum resources, active state and black persons' participation in the development of the nation's petroleum resources, a petroleum right that integrates the right to explore and to produce, to facilitate of acquisition of petroleum, geotechnical data, etc. Honorable Speaker, the briefings and public hearings were held on the 21st of November 2023 by the Department of Mineral and Resources Energy. Our own committee received the bill by the DMRE on the 24th of November 2023. As well as on the 23rd of February 2024. Honorable Speaker, we held public hearings on 4 districts, namely Eshowe, Mlalazi, Newcastle Town Hall, as well as Gamalake Community Hall, as well as Tengani Community Hall, Umhlabuya Lingani. The notices were publicized on a number of publications, including Isolezwe and an English province-wide newspaper. It was also posted on the website of the legislature, as well as on social media platforms. There were public comments received by the committee through oral contributions in the public hearings, as well as written comments by organized structures such as the Durban-based, Durban South based organization, which is called Durban South Community Environment Alliance, as well as the Green Net, an environmental conservation organization. In our final written submission, those comments were included as they formed part of a substantive negotiating mandate to the NCOP. Going straight to the final mandate, Honorable Speaker, the committee met once again yesterday, 25th of March, to consider a final mandate on the bill, taking into account the Select Committee's consideration of the provincial negotiating mandate on the 19th of March 2024. Despite the Select Committee's not including our proposed amendments to make explicit reference to sectoral emission targets on climate change, this does not detract from the South Africa's international commitment to reduce greenhouse gases, and to sector will in any event be subject of any climate change legislation passed, even not reflected in the bill itself. Honorable Speaker, in light of the proceeding report, the committee unanimously recommends that the legislature confer authority on the KZN provincial legislation, delegation in the NCOP to cast a vote in support of the bill. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mshengu. We will now call upon the Honorable HGS Mavimbela for 7 minutes. 7 minutes on behalf of the ANC. Lalo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to all the honorable members in the House. It is an honor and privilege for me to debate today on behalf of the African National Congress. Honorable Speaker, petroleum resources indeed plays a crucial role in the economic development and a transformation of our country, particularly given the significant contribution of oil and gas industry to our GDP through taxes, royalties, and dividends, as well as South Africa's abundant petroleum reserves, which have massive potential to not only fuel economic growth, but also drive industrialization and infrastructural development. Meaningful establishment of the upstream petroleum industry is thus imperative to support economic growth and forms part of the transformation agenda of the African National Congress government of transforming the apartheid political, economic, and achieving the vision of the Freedom Charter of our National Democratic Society. The National Democratic Society, as envisaged by our glorious people's movement, is characterized by 1, a thriving and integrated economic that draws on the creativity and skills that our whole population can offer, building on South Africa's economic endowment to create employment opportunities for the benefit of all. 2, an economic in which increasingly social equality and economic growth form a vicious cycle of development, which progressively improves the quality of life of all citizens, rolls back the frontiers of poverty and frees the potential of each person. 3, an economy in which nationally prosperity is ensured through innovation and cutting-edge technology, labor absorbing the industrial development that creates decent work for all, a thriving small business and cooperative sector, the utilization of information and communication technologies, and efficient forms of production and management. It is for this reason that the African National Congress-led government has long been committed in ensuring that the development of petroleum resources in South Africa promotes local beneficiation and value addition, which stems from the solemn belief that by adding value to raw material within the country can create more jobs and stimulates economic growth. From the Progressive Reconstruction and Development Program of 1994, which was centralized on the fact that economic strategy cannot be seen in isolation from overarching development framework, and the growth and the redistribution should form part of the singly integrated program. The government of the people since then has always sought to promote local beneficiation in the petroleum sector through the enacting of legislation that mandates a certain percentage of all petroleum resources extracted in the country to be processed locally. This has not only created opportunities for local businesses to add value to these resources, but also ensures that the benefits resources extraction are felt by South African communities. Furthermore, the ANC has implemented various incentive and support mechanism to encourage local businesses to participate in the beneficiary process. These include the tax breaks, access to the financing, and provide technical support to help local companies develop the capacity to add value to petroleum resources. And by promoting local beneficiation and value addition in the petroleum sector, the ANC government has aimed to create more inclusive economic where the benefits of the resource extraction are shared more equally among all South Africans, thus working towards realizing the Freedom Charter's vision of a society in which the people shall share in the country's wealth. As such, honorable members, this upstream petroleum development bill form part of this endeavors. It seeks to systematic and orderly exploration and exploitation of our oil gas resources, doing so in accordance with the Section 24 of the Constitution. Undoubtedly, energy security is critical for economic reconstruction and recovery, particularly for the developing economy like ours that seek to industrialize. And so this bill aims to unlock the potential 27 billion barrels of prospective petroleum resources estimates for South Africa, and enables further exploration and production of petroleum resources, incentivizing investment for exploration and production. This will serve as a catalyst for the development of the downstream industries such as petroleum.
Honorable Mavimbela, your time is up. Your time
Thank
is
you
up.
very much, Honorable Speaker.
The
The
next
ANC
speaker
supports
is
the bill.
Honorable S. Moodley of the IFP for 5 minutes. Ngafaza mhlonishwa, ngafaza. Ngafaza sizokuzwa.
Doesn't understand you, Honorable Speaker.
We can't hear you, Honorable Member. We can't hear you, Honorable Member. And at the end of the term, we can't still be reminding members to unmute, honestly. We can't.
Sorry, ma'am. The UPRDP introduces a separation of the upstream petroleum exploration and production sector from the mine related under the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act number 28 of 2002, MPRDA. New state-owned company which will be responsible for managing the state's participation at 20% carried interest in all disputed fact that the mineral and petroleum extraction brings an enormous burden to bear on local communities who find their water and water quality compromised, the air quality compromised, the health compromised, the access to settlement, among other impacts. The exploitation of gas resources through extraction and processing contribute of methane. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas, while the mining and gas companies make obscene profits through this extraction to no economic or other benefit. If anything, they are forced to carry the economic and social burden of increased mobility of mineral and petroleum extraction. The IFP is concerned that the bill makes no attempt to address such injustice.
Honorable Moodley, please, I was checking with IT. They say please speak towards
Yes,
the
ma'am.
mic. Please speak towards the mic, sir, so that we can capture you properly. Sometimes you move away from the mic, they are saying.
The IFP notes that the bill speaks about expanding opportunities for Black people and promoting on how it will alter an exploitive, extractive industry where mining and gas companies often win against in a cruel zero-sum game. The IFP also noted clause 31, however, 10% for BEE. We propose a higher percentage. Black people are the majority people in this country and deserve a greater percentage. 31 ought to also include equity to Black communities that are affected by the petroleum industry, where this exploration, a rehabilitation process after the exploration. The IFP would like to state it clearly that it is calling for no less than 50%. The notes clause 35, which speaks to of open areas that the minister can explore for development. The bill does not clarify clause 35 to include the definition. We are of the view that this will promote corruption, as would nothing standing in the for the benefit of certain comrades. In addition, section 19 of the bill pertains to PASA itself, consulting with IA. The consultation provided for year only extends to section 15, 16, and 38. No reason is given why, as listed in the preceding paragraph, do not contain a mandatory consultation clause. This must be amended by making it mandatory. The bills seem to favor secrecy, in particular section 79 and 80, which deals with the submission of information, technical, financial, and economic, as well as progress reports supplied to the South African agents, exploration and exploitation, PASA, provided that the information should be kept confidential. The IFP supports the bill. I thank you.
Thank you. The next member is Honorable Ulrich de Boer for 4 minutes for the DA.
Good morning, Honourable Speaker. It seems my video is not working.
No, how is your video not working? I know that you are just trying what was tried by the chief whip, but you should be honest and say at least you are trying, because I'm with IT where I am, honorable member, so that you don't take chances. The reason I was saying expressly to the chief whip, he must assist us to be consistent, is because I knew that members will come and say their videos are not working, because a member who's going to debate knows that prior to him speaking, he must ensure that the gadget is working. It's the responsibility of the member and the party. And now when it has not been done and checked with IT, because I'm checking with them if they had received any complaint from you, both of them say no, there is no complaint at the help desk that your video is not working. Now, this is exactly making us inconsistent because of what happened earlier on. And I said, we are setting no precedents. And I think you should have taken that home, because you relate that to in terms of the roles, the standing role that speaks to the president of the presidium. We did not set a precedent. Why is not reported that your gadget is not working properly? Try and make it work, and then as you are debating, we will be waiting for you to show your face, even if it's there you are. Thank you, Honorable Ulrich de Boer. You may continue, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I had to join from another device. The laptop was not working. My apologies for that. I was being truthful. Madam Speaker, let me greet you from the glorious movement of the Democratic Alliance. And let me just say from the outset that the Democratic Alliance laments the ongoing disregard of almost all the public and committee inputs on critical pieces of legislation. Despite massive budgets being allocated and spent on public participation, there's more than enough evidence to support the notion that the NCOP systematically disregards all public comments that are made by the committees and by the public. Moreover, Madam Speaker, this last-minute rush to ram home legislation that has been under discussion for years is certainly not Ayoba. In fact, the ongoing disregard for public comment being incorporated into final legislation smacks of tick box democracy and cannot be tolerated. Perhaps the biggest missed opportunity of this bill is to truly, fairly, and sustainably utilize foreign investment to grow jobs and South Africa's economy. Instead, the ANC has essentially chased potential international miners away with, again, race-based quotas. Countries with large oil and gas reserves, with credible legislation governing the exploitation of those reserves, tend to be very rich countries with high standards of living. We're looking at Norway, the United Kingdom, and the United States. In comparison, Venezuela, which sits with some of the largest gas and oil reserves in the world, is poor because of bad legislation. Oil reserves remain complex and expensive to retrieve, and it costs up to 800 million rand just to drill one offshore well. Clearly, international investors with expertise and the money to drill are the major oil companies. So what legislation will persuade them to spend their money exploring for gas and oil in our country? Certainly not this legislation. 10 years ago, the ANC tried to rewrite the rules governing oil and gas in an amendment of the MPRDA. Its proposed conditions that were unacceptable to investors chased them away. Even though the amendment was scrapped, investors sat on their hands or left the country. We lost 10 years in which we could have had exploration and development, but incompetence on the part of the ANC cost us money and jobs. There are provisions in the bill that will put off investors. The bill demands 20% of each project goes to the state oil company, essentially Petro SA, which is in a shambles. On top of that 20% giveaway, the bill demands another 10% be set aside for BEE companies. The minister has also been given wide discretionary powers and will decide when to open applications for certain blocks of exploration. That gives the minister huge power to advantage bidders, and given the ANC penchant for crookery, this opens the door to corruption. By comparison, Namibia will be producing oil and gas in the next 4 years. And unless the oil companies take a very long view and are prepared to sit and wait for this ANC government to get its house in order, this bill could mean development of our resources could be set back for at least another 10 years. This means less investment, fewer jobs, and no supercharge for the fiscus. In closing, Madam Speaker, I would like to ask this House, what was the last government to legislate what people could or could not do, or could not participate in based on their skin color? And I tell you, Madam Speaker, it was the apartheid government.
Your time has expired, Honorable Ulrich de
Thank you.
Boer. The next speaker for
Madam.
3 minutes is the Honorable P.P. Herricks for the EFF.
Greetings, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members. With regards to the upstream petroleum bill, while the EFF continues to call for the use of state-owned enterprises to drive industrialization and development to the economy, and the use of state-owned enterprises to ensure the delivery of services to our people, Black people will continue to remain outside of enhancing economic participation with the 10% allocation towards Black empowerment in South Africa. Economic ownership and control in South Africa will continue to be in the hands of the few. And that's why the EFF is uncompromising and will continue to demand for 51% Black share in the upstream petroleum bill instead of 10% Black ownership. The EFF, however, supports the bill. Thank you.
The next member is the Honorable Mrs. Rajbanzi for 1 minute, because the Honorable CM Shinga is not in the house, and we now go to Mrs. Rajbanzi for 1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Minority Front welcomes this progressive bill. This bill provides for an enabling environment for local SMMEs to participate in our country's petroleum resources. But like the other parties before me, we also request that our local businesses should have a 50% stake in this business. The MF welcomes the establishment of the Petroleum Agency of South Africa and KZN's regional offices for retailing and wholesaling. More importantly, this bill includes safety regulations of compliance for transport of petroleum. The MF supports the mandate to the NCOP to support the upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill as it regulates these vital resources and provides opportunities for SMMEs. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The next member was Honorable M.E. Phakathi, who has an apology. Honorable S.E. Manqele, another apology. Now we'll move to the Honorable Ivi Dube for 7 minutes for the ANC.
The Speaker of the Legislature, Mahubela, Honorable Premier Nyamazane, Leader of Business Mthombeni, honorable members of the executive is Thunywa Zikatambo, honorable members of the provincial legislature of the ANC is Ngane Zikamafukuzela. One thing that excites me before I even debate about this bill, Honorable Speaker, was to hear Honorable De Boer today making a serious confession, which I really appreciate, of him understanding that the ANC will remain as the government of the Republic of South Africa. I know that Honorable De Boer likes to lament as usual, because anything that is going to make sure that African people and ANC remains on top will always be a thorn in their flesh. Honorable De Boer, thank you very much for making sure that you will recommend that in the future ANC remains. Honorable De Boer, just passing, it's very important for you to understand that South Africa is not a banana republic. For us as ANC, empowerment of the people is the order of the day. And we make sure as ANC, we are not going to leave our people out when there is something that will make our country a better country. As it is now, we are passing one of the very important bills that has everything to do with the people of the Republic of South Africa, making sure that when we develop, at the same time, we protect. That is what ANC is all about. I hear Honorable Motley speaking about corruption for the first time. I could pick up a couple of things from him, but it's unlike Honorable Motley to politic in a bill the way he has done so today in the little that I've heard. Honorable Speaker, the issue of environmental sustainability continue to become increasingly important to the ANC. The devastating environmental and social disruptions assail any and all progress that we are making towards creating a society that our people truly desire. That is our emblem as ANC. As ANC, we are not naive. While we develop, we make sure we protect. And that is the reason why people will continue to vote the African National Congress. It is the voice of the people. Everybody knows that. It is thus crucial that whenever we talk of development as it is now, the development of petroleum resources, in order to ensure we also make sure that there is no negative impact on the environment. Because thina njengokhongolo sesiyazi ukuthi umhlaba ubaba ungumama wethu. The extraction of petroleum often involve activities such as drilling, fracking, and transportation, which can result in habitat destruction, water pollution, and air pollution. These environmental impacts can have far-reaching consequences on ecosystem, wildlife, and human health. As I've said before, while we develop, at the same time, we must make sure we protect. And that is the responsibility of the African National Congress. Because abantu babekele ilizwe ezandleni zethu, and they will continue to do so. We therefore applaud this progressive government of the African National Congress for enacting this upstream petroleum resources development bill, which will play a very significant role in ensuring sustainable management of the country's petroleum and all other resources, while also attracting investment in the sector. I do not know what Honorable De Boer is talking about when he says the investors will run away. But iqiniso lithi abamhlophe abafana naye kade bayiqala le ndlela ukwethusa abantu ukuthi once thina njengokhongolo sesaphatha ama-investors azohamba. Kodwa iqiniso elibalulekile siyabona ukuthi ama-investors amaningi ikhathi ebuya athi hawu besiliyekele leli thuba loku-invest eSouth Africa, and they'll continue to do so. And as ANC will ensure that the investors continue to invest while we develop. ANC believes that all citizens of South Africa, present and the future, have the right to safe and healthy environment and to life of well-being. The broad objective of our environmental policy will be to fulfill this right. It is in line with the ANC's belief that all citizens of South Africa, present and the future, have the right to safe and healthy environment and to life of well-being. This bill is indeed further guided by the ANC environmental principle. There is a principle of sustainable development, principle of equitable access to resources. Higher resources are totally pen. Also, we make sure that there is public participation in planning, development, and management of resources, and also integrated approach to environmental issues that relates to all sectors of the society. And once we begin to do this, other political organizations, they are angry with us, as if they are asking us a question. Why are we involving the community when we are planning? Why are we involving the public when we are doing things that are going to progress? The truth of the matter is ANC was blessed, anointed to lead the people. And we are doing that. And we'll never do anything without making sure that our people participate. And indeed, we have seen that people are participating in numbers. And for us is to guide them on how their participation will contribute and take us forward. Honourable members, as the chairperson has highlighted, this bill will provide a legal framework for the exploration and exploitation of...
Honourable Dube, but your time has expired in Hlonishwa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
I thank you, honourable members, and now call for the honourable chairperson to respond to the debate for 5 minutes. Honourable Mshengu.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I wish to thank all members who have participated in this debate, in particular Honourable Mavimbela, for emphasizing that the broader participation of our people in the wealth of our nation is such a critical milestone, simply because the upstream petroleum bill, in actual fact, it's going to regulate the broader participation of Black people. That demands that at least a minimum of 10% economic participation must be squarely by Black participants, including your small and medium enterprises. It does not put a ceiling that if it's a minimum of 10%, it can be a maximum of 100%, provided that those who want to go and explore these resources beneath our soil do have the requisite authorization and financial muscle to do so. But for Honorable De Boer to come here and cast aspersions on the ANC and all these things, it's quite a shame, because I thought that Honorable De Boer is bowing out of politics with a clear conscience. Seemingly, you can say that he is highly aggrieved for some reason that we cannot actually explain. But I just wish him well, because he just bashes the ANC for nothing. Even if we come with such progressive pieces of legislation that are aimed at ensuring that the economy of our country thrives for the benefit of South Africans, but Black people in general, who are the majority in this country. Honorable Speaker, I could not hear what Honorable Modley was saying because he was breaking. I had difficulty in hearing him, and as such, I do not know what was he saying, and I can't reflect on his contributions. We note Honorable Harris' demand of 51%, but as I said, the bill speaks of a minimum requirement, which is a legal instrument for participation of Black people, of at least a minimum of 10%. It could be anything above that. We accept that Honorable Raspanji also supports this bill, because it's going to actually change the landscape of the economic participation when it comes to mineral resources of this country. Honorable Speaker, I want to reflect on what also Honorable De Boer spoke on. The issue of the NCOP not considering views and contributions of provinces. It's a view that the committee has reflected on, and it's something that is really a serious concern, that we wish that the House, because it's not only this bill, on a number of bills that as this committee we have undertaken in terms of public hearings, where very serious and progressive interventions were suggested. They've just been ignored, and with no record of decision making at the level of the NCOP that at least gives feedback to us as to why these recommendations or amendments are being rejected. And we believe that somehow this makes a mockery of the public participation progress, because a lot of time and a lot of money is spent on these public hearings, including transporting participants, providing meals and all of that. But at the end of the day, the contributions are not necessarily taken into consideration, and thus making these public hearings some kind of a compliance exercise. We thought that we should perhaps bring it to your attention, Honourable Speaker, and the House, that in the recent past, we have noted that this is becoming an exercise in futility, because at the end of the day, irrespective of the progressive nature of contributions, but those contributions get to be sidelined or omitted for no reason. I wish to thank all members who have participated, Honourable Speaker, especially the support of the bill to be passed. Thank you.
Now, Honourable Mshengo, I am alerted by the ICT that your face was not shown throughout the debate, throughout your response, and we want to see whether it was, your face was not there. It's okay, Vele, you are muted. Besithi Makvelubu, so you are muted anyway.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. We have now come to the end of the debate on the conferral of a final mandate on the Upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill B13B 2021. The House now needs to vote on the final mandate. As per the recommendation of the Portfolio Committee on Conservation and Environmental Affairs, I now put the question to the House as follows. The KwaZulu-Natal Legislature agrees to confer a final mandate on 1. The KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Delegation to the National Council of Provinces to vote in support of the Upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill B13B 2021 at the relevant NCOP Select Committee. And 2, the head of the provincial delegation to the NCOP or a delegate designated by the head of delegation to cast a vote in favor of the Upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill B13B 2021 at the NCOP plenary. As indicated prior to the start of the debate, I will now go party by party to obtain the vote and thereafter check if any member wishes to record an individual vote. I will start with Ingata Nkululeko.
And honorable members of this august House, the IFP votes in support of the bill. Thank you.
Democratic Alliance.
Thank you for the opportunity, Madam Speaker. The Democratic Alliance is opposed to the bill.
Economic Freedom Fighters.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The EFF votes in support of the bill.
National Freedom Party is not in the House. We'll now go to the Minority Front.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The Minority Front votes in favor of the bill.
ACDP is not in the House. ATM is not in the house. We will now go to Ukongolose.
Honorable Speaker, the ANC support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, party whips and leaders. Members, I have the votes of all parties. Is there any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? Is there any? Secretary, if there is none, can I ask for the tally of the votes? Or if there is, can you alert me to that one that I can see?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There are no alerts as to individual votes.
Then can I ask for the tally of the votes?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The voting results are as follows. Votes in favor, 49. Votes against, 10. Abstentions, no.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Votes in favor, 49. Votes against, 10. Abstentions, nil. The ayes have it. That concludes voting on the conferral of a final mandate on the Upstream Petroleum Resources Development Bill, B13B 2021. Thereafter, that concludes the whole item on the oral paper. May I now, honorable members, give this opportunity to the Honorable MEC, MC Fraser, on behalf of the Premier.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Thank you, Speaker, for affording us this opportunity. On the 26th of March 2020, His Excellency, the President Cyril Ramaphosa, announced at the beginning of COVID-19 lockdown to the nation as part of the national state of disaster. The lockdown started at midnight on the 26th of March and ended 750 days later in April 2022. Even though COVID-19 left a trail of economic distractions and devastations, we are pleased to note that South Africa and KZN have recovered from the painful period. We would not have recovered from the devastation had it not been for the unity and resilience displayed by all and sundry during that testing and trying period. Honorable Speaker, on eThekwini OSS, the KwaZulu-Natal provincial government will descend on eThekwini municipality to embark on an Operation Sukuma Sakhe Cabinet Day tomorrow on the 27th of March 2024. This innovative and groundbreaking OSS program is aimed at strengthening public participation while enabling the provincial government to access progress in service delivery. OSS also serves as a platform to monitor, evaluate, and fast-track the implementation of various services and programs to improve the lives of communities. The recent 2-week illegal strike by eThekwini municipal workers posed many service delivery challenges to residents of the metro. The OSS will also be used to respond to and remove bottlenecks that frustrate service delivery to the communities of the eThekwini metro. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, Human Rights Day celebration. This year, Human Rights Celebration Day, which takes place in the year in which we celebrate 3 decades of democracy, will take place at Makasa Stadium in Ward 3 of Big 5 Hlabisa local municipality after it was postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. The theme of this year's commemoration is titled 3 Decades of Respect for and Promotion of Human Rights. This year's theme pays tribute to the 30th anniversary of freedom and democracy. The whole month of March will be used to reflect on our achievements to promote respect for basic human rights and restoring human dignity in line with the Bill of Rights. The history of Human Rights Day is grounded in the Sharpeville massacre that took place on the 21st of March 1960, where the apartheid police shot and killed 69 people during a peaceful protest march. The month is also used to honor those who fought for our liberation and to celebrate the many rights guaranteed under our Constitution that we continue to enjoy today. Speaker on COGTA, honorable members, in an effort to fight unemployment, the KZN Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs will welcome over 4,000 new employees and participants as part of the government's Teshawaya Wire, a recruitment mass employment initiative. This mega event took place at Tongati Indoor Sports Center on Monday, the 25th of March 2024. Steshawaya Wire is a provincial government initiative that assists job seekers by embracing modern technology to provide easy access to search and apply for jobs in the public sector. This initiative has benefited thousands of job seekers across departments and public entities. The new KZN COGTA recruits included 930 permanent staff members, interns and in-service trainees who were placed in the department and municipalities across the province. As that was not enough, Honorable MEC Stolem Loyi also handed over appointment letters to 3,601 community work programs participants from eThekwini Metro. These new recruits will capacitate the department in various units as part of the government's commitment to empowering service delivery and fighting unemployment. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Hey, thank you, Honorable Fraser. Ubaba uNkosi laphayana. Ngazi wenzani kodwa ke sesisizwa yilabo abamcishile. Thank you so much, honorable members. We're reminding you, please do consider the announcements we made earlier on relating to the end of term. They are really important, honorable members. Thank you, honorable members. The House is adjourned.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much, Somlomo Mama.
Order,
Madam Speaker.
Siyabonga kodwa ibhuru makageze.
Mahubele.
Thank you, Speaker.
Sanibona weDipur.
Yewona la kwelizayo.
uDipur uyasivuma. Hayi akafutha kandivume mamfundisi ngigijima kanje. Uyabona hayi konakele siyahamba ke manje sawubheka solanda abantu eground. Uzwile ukuthi useyi liberation movement kwasayena.